Bonjour everyone, welcome to a new episode. We're going to do another diecast showcase today. And today it's going to be about Jadatoys. So second brand showcase for Jadatoys, but we're going to go into larger scale than the previous 164 or pseudo 164 episode. And we're also going to be concentrating on mostly older Jada releases from the mid 2000s, mid to late 2000s, I'd say. So models that are going to range from give or take 15 years old, about 15 years old, I'd say, 12 to 15 years old. So without further ado, let's get started, and we'll go from smaller scale to larger scale. Excuse me. So first model I'm going to show you is going to be this one here. So this is a 132 scale, or claimed 132 scale Toyota Supra Mark IV. So basically, obviously, we're talking about a vehicle that's heavily modified. Take a closer look at it here. So basically, it's got definitely wide arches, aftermarket body kit. You can see the intercooler with the nitrous spray for cooling on within the huge opening of the front bumper. It looks a little bit like a TRD kit from the 3000 GT TRD Supra, but you know, it's definitely different there. The arches and everything are definitely not the same. You can see the really big chromed wheels, which obviously when this was released it was all about the big chrome wheels. Front lights are very well rendered. Yeah, plastic is a little bit cloudy in views of the age of the model there, but you know, it gives you an idea still. Those are probably going to need to be polished a little bit there, but anybody has tips on that at this scale for this type of plastic on how to polish this, what the best materials would be to use, feel free to let me know in the comments. We're going to go to the rear end. So rear end has very weird quad square tipped exhaust, Toyota Supra rear lights that are lensed just like the front ones, with tampos for the lights themselves, the stop lamps, reverse lights, and turn signals. Wing is surprisingly small for a Supra, and this is a plastic piece basically on the diecast body. You do see Toyota emblem in between those two lights, and the third brake light on the deck lid as it where it should be. Got some additional vents on the rear bumper, as well as the vents that are not detailed on this in this case, but these vents are actually functional on the real Supra to cool down the brakes. So basically these models do come with opening parts. In this scale, basically we're talking about opening doors only, which does give us a glimpse at the arcade style small diameter steering wheel, a huge chrome shifter, as well as the radio in a period style, as it was very popular in the mid 2000s. You can see the dashboard is slightly detailed, but we lose kind of the shape of the whole thing, the cockpit shape that the Supra is known for in views of that big screen that's there. Take a look on the top here through this slightly, again, yellowed glass that's on top of that tinted. You can see in there we've got two NOS bottles, two big subwoofers, and two chrome amps. Actually, those might be capacitors. Two capacitors, because I see a big NOS bottle right below the option D emblem, if you can see. Now option D is basically the Japanese selection of vehicles that Jada offered at the time, and since then was replaced by the JDM Tuner series. Give you a look at the base. Here we go. So licensed product, scale 132. And I mean, the 132s are actually pretty close to an actual 132 scale. Slightly bigger, maybe 130, but they're the closest basically out of the Jada line if we're talking about scale claim versus actual scale. Now you will notice that the tires are extremely skinny, although treaded in rubber. You do have a little bit of detail on the, a little bit of extra chrome on the exhaust. Again, sign of the times. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, this was all the rage, and this is how a dream build would have looked like at that point. Basically, it was considered extremely cartoonish at the time, but now with the event of air suspension and, you know, the importance of fitment versus way back when, kind of looks not realistic, but not overly done. It looks like a show car that could actually, you know, you could actually see in a car show. We'll continue on with another Japanese sourced vehicle. So got a Infiniti G35 coupe. This model actually came out probably 2 years after the actual real model came out of this car, just to give you a time frame of when this thing was produced. We're definitely looking at the same type of range, same type of modifications and whatnot. Well rendered. Again, you get the good, the fairly good detailing on the grille with the Infiniti logo. Vents that are appropriately placed. Again, those slightly clouded windows. But I mean, these models give you a backstory. They've been on display. They followed me through 3 of my previous residences. So you know, they have been with me for quite some time. Probably 15 years, give or take a couple years. So you know, they are not in perfect condition, but they've never been played with, only displayed. So there's shelf wear a little bit, but all in all, as you can see, these are pretty well detailed. You know, same features, lens lights, front and back, chrome exhaust, some chrome detailing. You can see through the opening door. Same type of steering, same type of screen, same type of shift knob's a little bit different though. You know, you've got some racing seats with some harnesses. Unfortunately, no harness bar, so that's really unsafe. People, if you have harnesses in your car, you want to install harnesses in your car, please install a harness bar behind the seats, because that's where it should actually be. That's where the harnesses should actually be. If you just tie them down to the floor, if you have a rollover, your spine will get crushed. So there you go, public service announcement. This one, to get back to this actual car as opposed to public service announcement, these wheels are really cool and they really do look like work wheels. The VXSS model, to be precise. Very cool 3-piece look with the chrome lip, the black gloss spokes, again rubber tires, and again fitment, definitely not the most important thing at the time as opposed to the bling factor. So skinny tires with tread. It's a shame that these don't actually have a copyright date, but you know, again, licensed product, well rendered, with period modification. So if you're into vehicle modifications, tuning or whatnot, however you want to call it, you know, it's fun. It's a look back in the past, and I mean, this just reminds me of when I was finishing high school. This was this was all the rage, basically. You know, late 90s, early 2000s. This was starting. Next one from the same series as the G35. We're going to look at this nice Dodge Charger. So pretty much the same style. You've got the wheels actually on this one are pretty interesting because they look like the stock Charger RT wheels of the time, but upsized and in black with a little bit of lip. The front end is very well rendered, I find. Out of the three, this is the most realistic because we do have an absence of one of those gaudy body kits. But, you know, grill's really good. Headlights are good. You've got the fog lights that are rendered as well. Dodge logo. Again, opening front doors on this one. It is a sedan. Only the front doors open. Same type of setup, but with a round steering wheel there. You can see a little bit of detail in the gauge cluster. Shift knob obviously is quite different since it's an automatic. You still got that big screen on there. Yeah, this one actually has an image on there. I don't think we'll be able to see too well what exactly it is, but when we get to the larger scales, we'll be able to look at all the intricate details like this. Here's your rear. So Charger RT, twin exit exhaust, Dodge license plate, Dub City, which is also actually the same as the G35. Since it's an Infiniti, I guess they did, because they did have an they actually did have an Infiniti, also part of the Option D series, but it was actually a Falcon liveried one. I did have it in 124 at the time, but I've sold it since. I mean, actually, I probably sold it 10 years ago because the spoiler was broken. So I wasn't too big on liveries at the time, as you probably noticed from the selection of cars you've seen so far here. You know, big sound systems again. So you can see the scale is definitely not, you know, it's written 132 everywhere, but I mean, look at the Charger versus the G35. It's definitely a little discrepancy there, to say the least. All right, so next, let's just push these back a little bit to give us more room. There we go. I'm going to get into a slightly larger scale. We're going to move on to the 124 scale from Jada. Now, mind you that it's definitely bigger than 124. I'd guesstimate it's probably around 120, 121. If I compare similar models to other diecast brands that produce the same vehicle. We're going to start off old school. There we go. Look at that, barely fits on there, huh? Yeah. So 124 scale, 1940 Pontiac, in a hot rod style. Got really cool, almost Spectra Flame green paint. You've got the chrome hubcaps with the wide white wall tires, and it is a convertible with a removable convertible top, which is definitely a cool feature. Put that there for now. So this one is definitely done up in a really a custom hot rod style, with a touch of lowrider added in. So we'll take a look at the interior. It's going to be pretty easy. So you've got some pleated white seats. You've got a really cool dashboard that really shows what type of oh, this is a little bit crooked there, but yeah, that's a manufacturing defect, nothing I can do there. But you know, overall it's really cool. There's a lot of intricate little details in here. You can see the pedal box on the bottom with the chrome pedals, the two-tone wheel. These up here would have been ventilation and radio speaker. one speaker. For the radio that is down here, and you've got the clock that's here that is actually detailed. Yep, so it'd be about a quarter past 3 when this clock stopped. And on the other side, we do have opening doors on here. Get a little bit better view of the dash, but you do have also the speedometer that's actually really well detailed with the increments put in and everything. Great looking door cards with a little green insert, a little bit of chrome for the window lever and the door handle. And when you get into the 124 scale with Jada, what's cool is that you get more opening features. My favorite one is this one. Really cool opening hood with a full-on chromed engine. Some type of V8. Looks really good. Get the radiator with the radiator cap that's detailed. A brake master cylinder. Brake booster. Everything's there. It's very nice. I like it. And another cool feature of the Jadas at the time, and I'm not sure because I don't really buy a large scale anymore, but these are actually rubber. And if you collect large scale, you know how easy it is to break these mirrors when they're plastic. So yeah, that's a really cool thing that I really like about this one. Here's your rear end. Got Rick Dorr's little signature on there. He's the one that styled this. So opening trunk as well. Pretty cool stuff. Rear lights are camouflage, which was something that was pretty popular at the time. So basically they just paint over basically, and the lights would only appear if you were braking or you would open the lights. Now I'll give you another view of the view of the front, which is pretty cool with the bumper delete. Yeah, really nice classic. Lights are really cool as well. As you can see, there's the lens, the chromed surround, as well as a little chrome addition on top there to add a little bit of a, a little bit of a zing to it. Alright, we'll put that one there. Put the roof back on. There we go. And it just drops off basically. It doesn't clip in or anything like that, so there's no chance of breaking it, which is awesome. Alright, next on, staying in the Americana, but changing up the style of vehicle a little bit as well as the decade, going forward over 20 years. You've got this really, really cool 64 Impala in a lowrider style. This is out of the Street Low collection from Jada. This and actually also these 5 cars so far, they were all eBay purchases at probably around 2006, 5, something like that. So sorry about that. Somebody's having fun. All right, so basically we have really, really good details on this one as well. Same type of details that you would have seen on the previous one. So awesome front end, awesome front end. Jadatoys license plate. You've got the little Chevy script that you can see on the grill, which is very well done. Lensed front lights, painted turn signals. All is there. You know, you got that little, well, what should be chrome that's painted silver as well. If you go to the side, you've got the wire wheels with the knockoff centers, the white walls. Nice separate piece of chrome that actually does a length of the car. Impala badge on the back. You've got the little antennas that are plastic and are actually fragile. And this mirror also is plastic. So more fragile. You got to be more careful than the aforementioned 40 Pontiac, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's they're still very robust, basically, compared to higher end models. So yeah, there you go. Street Low logo on the back. Do apologize, it's a little bit of a dusty one here. There we go. A little bit better, but not perfect. Well, either way, it'll have to do. We'll make do, eh? So yeah, you've got the Continental kit with the rear wheel on the back bumper with the bumper extension. Lights are really well done on the back as well. All separate pieces. Trunk opens to reveal the hydraulic setup with the 2 tanks, the batteries. Really cool stuff. The interior is really well done as well. 2-tone, gold and black with the pleated vinyl. 4 on the floor. Although this actually is kind of weird because it looks like a 4 on the floor shifter. But if you go to the driver's side, there's actually only 2 pedals. There's no clutch. So I don't know, probably an automatic with like a ratchet shifter or something. And last but not least, I gotta take a peek under the hood. And again, big V8, which is what we like to see on old cars. Lots of little chrome accents here and there. You go. You got the reservoir here. You know, a lot of little add-ons and whatnot there. So pretty cool stuff. I like it a lot. I love this style of lowrider, like a classic lowrider, but without the without excessive paint, basically. Excessive. Don't get me wrong. I can only admire strongly the airbrushing, the pinstriping, and everything like that. But just a really straight, no frills paint job like this on a lowrider I find extremely appealing. And I like the brown roof as well. There's a nice contrast. It is mimicking a rag top, so as opposed to the nice metallic that we have on the body paint, this is actually semi matte to kind of suggest you know, a material at the top, basically. So we'll move on to the next one. So next one is again part of my favorite series from Jada, probably. We're talking about the For Sale series, as indicated right here. So basically, For Sale, I've mentioned this series in my previous Jada showcase, where we concentrated on 164, and I showed you a couple of 164 versions of this series. So this is a, as you can see, 69 Camaro, drag setup, big beefy slicks on the back with the BF Goodrich tire lettering, side exit, got the skinnies on the front, which I'll give you a better peek of from the bottom of the car. Front end is no frills Camaro with the Chevy badge as opposed to the SS badge. Yeah, it's kind of like a SS badge basically, but with like a Chevy logo stuck on. It's really hard to see because of the line of airbrush goes across the car all the way front to back, to mimic dusting, but I find it's not necessarily the best way to do it. Just one line going across the car. The sides are really better done. Both sides are different. As you can see, there's no flat black, you know, kind of like scrapyard front wing or something. As you can notice, there's no rear view mirrors on this car on either side. And this is actually how they were produced from factory. Probably to mimic a barn find or something like that. Lots of cool details. You have the Camaro script right here. Here we go. Matte black hood. Obviously opens to reveal a nice rusty V8. Trunk opens as well, but there's like not really anything to see in there. It's just empty trunk. And the interior has been dusted up good. This is actually not dirty. This is actually painted. So, yeah. Still got some details. You know, you got a little bit of the details that you can see in the gauge cluster once more. Nice period steering wheel. You've got seats that are definitely aftermarket. Two big subwoofers in the back between the two rear seats. Obviously, the seats are not period correct. The rest is. So it's kind of like a project that was abandoned or something like that. Give you a view of the other side. And as you can see, still that infamous radio, the pop-up screen radio that was so popular in the mid-2000s or early to mid-2000s. Yeah, you were baller. You had baller status if you had one of these in your car in 2005, I can tell you. So, yeah, pretty cool one. I'll give you a view of the bottom. So, yeah, 69 Chevy Camaro, 124. Got the Jadatoy logo here. There we go. And yeah, staggered setup with the beefy rear tires and detailed diff, detailed drive shaft, and the skinnies up front. So really cool type of model. So let's see. I'm gonna show you next. This is actually the only one that's gonna be of a newer vintage. But it'll give you an idea of how they kind of stayed. You know, these cars are all, you know, the 124s are still the same price point. They don't cost more now, really, despite inflation, that they did back in the day. You know, I find that it's kind of like Hot Wheels, basically the dollar car status that stays a dollar car status. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, let me give you a quick peek at the next one. So next one is going to be this beauty right here. So Hakosuka Skyline GTR. KPGC10 in PMCS type livery, but instead of PMCS, as you can see here, it's written JADA. Oh boy, yeah, there you go. Got the work wheels. And the work, the actual work logo there. Bride seats. So yeah, you got the Skyline GT logo, as you can see. Oil cooler up front. Headlamp caps with the lip. It's really reminiscent of the racing Skylines of the 70, 71, 72. If we're talking about the paint job and everything like that. It's obviously right-hand drive because these Skylines were never imported outside of Japan. At least not in period. Wing mirrors, which is a really cool touch. Here's your inside. Almost no chrome, except a little touch of silver for the shifter. And the rear view mirror. Besides that, all black. You'll notice that you've got some white on black scripture for the gauge cluster once more. And rear end is really well done. No bumpers, just like the race version would actually have. And you see here basically the license plate saying JDM tuners instead of option D. GTR badge, Skyline script between the spoiler and the lip of the deck lid. Really cool two-piece headlamps with the chrome bezel and the red lens. Tiny little exhaust there with the twin tips, which is representative of what you would have seen in period. I play with slightly longer tips, if being honest about it. That's what I'm used to seeing, at least. Bare trunk, roll cage, and again, best for last, a nice S20 inline 6 with triple carbs, big anti-roll bar, blue engine cover to match the livery of the car. Very, very nice model. I actually picked this up at a gas station, funnily enough. So yeah, great looking car. Love the profile of this car. See, even the gas cap is super detailed in silver. So yeah, so now we'll put number 8 here, and we'll go to the actual 8th car that I'm going to show you, 8th and final car I'm going to show you today, since this video is already stretching on. And this is the only 1/18 scale that I'm going to show you today. Actually 1/18, you know what, we'll make a little bit more room here before we drop this off, or on, sorry, drop this on the table. Back up the camera a little bit too, so we can get a better view. There you go, and there you go. All right, so here we go. Last but not least, yes, Nissan S13 240SX. Fantastic stuff. This actual livery is based on a real livery that was in the D1GP, and it's actually a Signal that the Signal team, they had 2 cars running S15 front ends on this exact car, same livery, same type of graphics, same everything. And yeah, you'll see basically through the sponsorship what we're talking about is era and everything like that. If we go through it quickly before we go to the features of the car, we'll start here. So some of them are I don't think they're actual real sponsors. So you've got this one here, Roca. I'm not sure if that's actually real, but BF Goodrich, definitely something that we know. You've got the Signal Racing logo, the Jadatoys logo, obviously. For the life of me, I can't make out what the blue one or the blue scripture is there, but yeah, Endless. DailyDrivenOnline.com. My gosh, that brings me back. The Tanabe. Really cool company that makes a great exhaust. The Racing Medallion being the most epic. Import Racer. Tuner Magazine from back in the day. Gretty. We all know Gretty. Kicker for the very popular sound system. ICE provider. Or in-car entertainment provider. Veilside. Definitely not a Veilside body kit, but hey, we'll let that go. Yeah, Zeal is also a Japanese brand that's very well known. And yeah, that pretty much does it for sponsorships. Let's check out the rear. So you've got the cookie tail lights with the 240SX as opposed to the 180SX scripture, because this is a USDM version of the car, or North American market or whatnot there. Again, the Tanabe, and look at that huge exhaust on the back, It's pretty epic. We've got Zeal again and Endless Brakes. Go to the other side. Again, I had mentioned this, I believe, in another video. The reverse Tanabe on the door. Very popular. Little trend at the time that didn't really last throughout. my favorite part of this car. So beautiful, beautiful front end. Got that intercooler, the cookie body kit, the Type X body kit actually. Fog lights, extra lights in the bumper here, as well as functioning pop-up lights. Favorite feature of the car, obviously. These are all lensed, as were the rear lights. Let's check out under the hood what's going on. Sorry about that, kind of hard to open. So just behind that little Nissan logo, there you go, let's pop them up again. SR20 engine. I mean, it's very well detailed. You got the intake, the turbo, you got aftermarket header, intercooler piping, anti-sway bar in front. Got the reservoirs that are super well detailed right here. No, it's really, really cool to look at, definitely. Yeah, I really like this car. Sorry about that. That's kind of a racket. We'll go to the interior next. So interior is going to be in the same style, but with a little bit more detail, basically. So in this case, again, left-hand drive, racing style wheel, racing style seat with the harnesses. This time they're much better detailed than in the smaller scale one. You've got the hydraulic handbrake. I'll go here and you'll see here what I meant about that screen. If you look here, since this vehicle collection is sponsored by Import Racer, you actually have an Import Racer screen capture on the little screen of the radio. Shifter in actually a cool position, as if the car was actually you know, in second gear as opposed to neutral. Color coded vents. And then we move over to the rear. On the rear, we've got a nice carbon style, like carbon weave pattern type. There we go. Now we see it. Yeah, really cool. Really cool carbon style. And if we open the trunk, definitely not something you see in a drift car for the most part. But there are your kicker, amps, and subs. And there's what I was talking about for the harnesses. See how the harnesses are fixed on the harness bar? That is part of the roll cage. Ladies and gents, I know I'm repeating myself. That's where the harnesses go. Don't crush your spine just to look cool with harnesses that are a pain in the butt anyways to get in and out of. Yeah, so really nice stuff. Detail of the wheels. Worthwhile. These are epic wheels, right? So you've actually got the Volk Racing T37s, the endless brakes, big calipers. What's cool about this, the wheel does turn independently of the brake, which adds to the realism of this more or less realistic model. You've got staggered fitment as well, which is the only one I think in this showcase. So front lip, pretty big. Rear lip is huge. Fortunately, again, fitment is not on par, but pretty cool stuff nevertheless. And there's your base. Not a whole lot to speak of. Here's your licensing info right here. And here's your serial number, scale 118. Definitely not 118, more like 116. Not quite 112. And that's how we'll end this showcase today. So hopefully you enjoyed this little showcase of Jadatoys. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Don't hesitate to subscribe to not miss out on future uploads. And so this was a second part of my the Jada brand showcase. If you'd like to see a third part, please do let me know if that's something that interests you. And in the meantime, I'm going to wish you a great rest of the day. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.